dares to enter the kingdom of the trolls? You are a brave soul, aren't you? Yes. Well, as long as you're here... Paige! Pull up a chair for our guest. Please take a seat. I want to tell you a story. Once upon a time, Tickling Dragon Theatre traveled into the land of east of the sun and west of the moon. Listening happily ever after? Yes, Prince Meredith and Rosebud may be off living their happy little lives, but I'm still the ruler in this kingdom. My name, you may know, is Princess Anitra of the Troll Kingdom, and all-powerful am I! With my powers, I can do just about anything, even turning a prince into a bear. What do you mean you don't enchant the ones you love? Of course you do! I mean, what else is there? Flowers? Love songs? Boring. I live for excitement. And honing my magical skills, of course. Do you know what I hear all the time? Anitra, you're a princess. Why don't you act like one? Well, I never. Who says I have to act a certain way just because I'm a princess? I may be a princess, but how many girls do you know that can rule over a kingdom of trolls? You have to be strong and a bit mean, or else the trolls will walk all over you. But people don't see it that way. You see, those that live in other kingdoms think that because one has royal blood and a crown on their head, they should be proper, fair, gentle, and kind. If you're a princess, you must act like a lady. You can't be mean, and absolutely no magic. And do you know what we call that? We call that a stereotype. A stereotype is a very simple idea of what a person or thing is. It's like saying all girls like pink, all vegetables are gross, and all princesses are sweet and pretty. Do I look sweet or pretty to you? I don't think so. Now, princesses certainly can be sweet, and they can be pretty. There's nothing wrong with wearing a pretty dress and a crown, but not all of them do. If I'm right, some of the others have been saying the same thing. Yes? I think it was Jackie Frost. She said to be who you really are, that everyone is different, and that's what makes us all so very special. Well, I can certainly agree with another strong and magically talented girl and say, I think she's right. I am different. I am different from all other princesses and from other girls, most certainly. But is that what makes me Evil Princess Anitra? There are many different types of princesses, not just the ones who sing to animals and wear pretty dresses while running around through a forest. Wearing a shimmering crown doesn't make you a princess either. And you don't need a prince to be a princess. You don't need to be rescued from a dragon. I know plenty of princesses that would rather wield a sword and shield rather than go to any fancy ball. I hate dancing, and trolls aren't very good dance partners. They're too short. So what makes a princess anyway? I was curious, so I went in search of my answer. I asked the trolls if they knew. They didn't know. I tried asking Prince Meredith. I went to the Wind Mother and asked her, and she asked her sons if they had heard anything throughout the vast corners of the world about what makes a princess. One of them knew of a book that told many tales of different princesses, and that I might find my answer within its pages. He suggested I search far and wide for this book, but I said, no need. I do have magical powers, you know. And with a snap of my fingers, it appeared. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you a most wonderful book by a man of great knowledge, Jason Porat, and the book of Rejected Princesses. Just like me, my heart is swooning. I was just astounded by how many of the girls in this book were just like me. Strong, independent, and not all very nice. And I wanted to share one of them with you. This is Cootalune, the wrestler princess. Now, a long, long time ago in China, there was a group of people called the Mongols. There were few of them who were like kings, called Khans, but most of them were a part of smaller tribes across the land. The Mongols were nomads, people who moved a lot, with homes they could take down and build up again wherever they moved, and they had horses, lots and lots of horses. One of these nomadic tribes had a leader, Kaidu. He had 14 sons and 1 daughter, Cootalune. It is no surprise that Cootalune would grow up to be one of the strongest women in all of Mongolian history. She did grow up with 14 brothers and a father who ruled over their tribe. She certainly didn't grow up wearing dresses, practicing how to dance, or waiting for her Prince Charming. Oh no. Cootalune grew up learning to hunt and how to fight, and she was best at wrestling. In fact, she was such a fierce warrior that even though Kaidu could have chosen one of his 14 sons to follow in his footsteps as leader of the tribe, he chose Cootalune instead, which was unheard of in that time. A girl, ruler, never. Not that that would have ever stopped her from trying. The time had come for Cootalune to take a husband. Her father and mother begged for her to find someone to marry. But Cootalune was headstrong and didn't want a husband. She agreed that if a man would ever come forward who could defeat her at wrestling, she would marry. But if he lost, he would have to give her 100 horses. Suitor after suitor came along, but after many years, Cootalune just ended up with lots and lots of horses, enough to make an army. She eventually did marry, but he certainly didn't beat her at wrestling. Even to this day, it's believed that Cootalune was undefeated at wrestling. Now how's that for a warrior princess and a legacy? Even I'm impressed. Jason Porath really knows his fierce princesses, and this was just the first story. Excuse me a minute while I keep reading. So do you see now? There are as many different ways to be a princess as there are ways to be human. You can wear flowing gowns and dance at a royal ball in glass slippers, and you can also ride wild horses and wrestle with the best of them in the mud. Here's my challenge to you, my little listeners. If you were a princess or a prince, how would you be doing? Would you have magical powers like me? You know, I once heard of a princess who kissed frogs. Ugh. Comment below to share your stories, or you can send me an email personally, anitra@ticklingdragon.com. I look forward to meeting all the unique princes and princesses there are out there. And of course, please remember to share your coloring pages. I would love to see how you portrayed the Wind Mother. Well, this interaction was much more pleasant than I thought it would be. I hope you enjoyed your stay in the Troll Kingdom. And if you ever want to practice some magic, or learn some more about rejected princesses, you are always welcome here. So long as you remember to be who you are, and you'll go star far.